Okay, buddy. First of all, can you hear me? I always have a problem with this. Someone to respond. Everything okay? All right. All right. So let's see. I think we're working. Everyone seems to hear what I'm talking about or what I'm going to talk about. So let's. I guess let's start off with this. It seems to be some type of a miraculous turnaround here on Wall Street. Earlier in the day, I mean, a massive imbalance to the sell side. 90% of the stocks on the New York Stock Exchange were selling off. Then, towards the end of the day here, I, I mean, it's almost supernatural. Something happened, and we get a massive reversal. As a matter of fact, when I just looked last, the Nasdaq went positive. So we had a Dow Jones Industrial Average down like 800 points, and now I think we're only down about 100 points. Let's have a look. 154. Nasdaq is positive. Pretty epic. Pretty epic. I'll tell you something else that's epic while we're on the epic topic. Dollar today got cremated. It did make a big rebound, no doubt about it. But did you notice that the price of gold stayed suppressed all day long? Silver in the negative. I mean, it's crazy. All right, look, we understand, and nobody knows this better than you do. If you follow this blog, we are in absolute fantasy land, fake across the board. I mean, there's nothing real at all, and it's not just the markets; it's this economy. And let's try to put some of this together here. There's a lot of talk, and this is almost. It makes me want to. You see this? You can't see the floor, but if you could see the floor here earlier, I was laying on the floor right here, laughing my rear end off. Now, why would Greg be doing that? Because I'm sitting here. And I'm watching the Confederacy of Dunces, the prime Confederacy of Dunces. You know who that is. We're talking about CNBC. Whenever I refer to the prime Confederacy, they're the prime Confederacy. They're all talking about the yield curve and an inversion of the whole curve, not just the rift that we have now, as if it's almost a foregone conclusion. But how many of you remember, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, it was never going to happen. We're not going to get a yield curve inversion. Oh, anyone who's saying that has no idea what they're talking about. Now it's like, well, it looks like the yield curve is going to invert. What does it mean? People, I always say this. If you tried, you could not make this stuff up. It's incredible. It really is. And what did they do today? Let's talk about something else that you can't make up. They paraded out the man himself, Warren Buffett, to try to ease the markets. We knew this was going to happen. You and I spoke about it. I posted this on my social networks. Everyone was saying, yep, he's going to come out. And guess what? Today he came out. That's why I was on the floor here, laughing my freaking ass off. Okay, I said it. It's the truth. So look, fall into a trap here. Look, I am not a day trader. You all know that. I trade credit spreads. Day trading is maybe a little above my pay grade. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I used to be able to do it. Then I couldn't do it. I don't know. Credit spreads, a little longer out. Go to my website, traderschoice.net. You can see how I set these up. Makes me sleep better at night. Despite the volatility in this market off the freaking Richter scale, I'm sitting pretty. But what I'm trying to get at is I'm not convinced, and I talked about this yesterday, that this market sell-off is over, despite this miraculous turnaround that we've had today. I mean, this is algorithms, obviously, that's doing this. This isn't a guy like me or a guy or a girl like you sitting behind the computer trying to make sense of all this. It's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. What we're witnessing here in this market is absolutely twisted, every aspect of it. Now, I want to talk about a few other things that I think are really, really important. Before I do that, let's do a little, oh my God, look at this. Dow Jones Industrial Average only down, literally only down 117 points. NASDAQ is positive 0.26%. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. 10-year yield stabilizing somewhat here. That may be why the market is kind of bouncing a little bit, other than we know it's completely fake. But look, whenever you get either a big move down in yields or up in yields, that's instability. And it should be as clear can be to you now that we have this rift as well in the yield curve. It's incredible. But what I want people to understand what happened, why this sell-off actually started gaining more momentum on Tuesday, followed through till today, and it seems to be turning around here. It's crazy. Wow, look at this. Dow's only down 96. Let's see if we can go positive in the next 9 minutes. Wow. So if you recall, I explained to you how there were two phases here that were playing out. We had the first phase was the Trump Powell put under this market. Get the Fed to keep printing money, adding it to a digital screen, keep everything propped up into oblivion. Phase two was initially started out as this truce between China and the United States. If you recall, when the market found out about this, bam, 650 points higher or so on the Dow. Then all of a sudden, we start hearing, well, wait a minute. There really isn't a truce. China's saying, no, there's no concessions. Trump administration says, yes, there is. The market hated this. Uncertainty. Look, this market functions on confidence and confidence alone. That's it. Confidence that it will just continue to be faked and it will continue to move higher. So when the market got wind of this, that, hey, something's up here, and we got to pay more attention to what's going on, we got a massive sell-off. And not only did we get a sell-off, it was the way it sold off. And I covered this. Sellers of stock had to continue to lower the price in order to find a buyer. That's not good. We've seen this before. 2008, dot-com bubble, 1929 market crash, no doubt about it. So it is eye-opening to me. Anyway, so what's happening now is we still have more of this uncertainty with regard to this trade truce, whatever the heck it is. We're not being allowed to see it. You don't rank high enough to know. Anything that's just worded, I've been getting a lot of comments. Well, Greg, there is nothing written down. Then we have nothing. If there's not a written agreement as to what's going to happen, no, we have zero. All right. And you and I, we rank high enough, in my view, to see this whole thing. And now we got this whole thing with OPEC. How many of you out here, I want to see a show of hands, remember me saying that crude oil was going to continue to drop, or at least in a real market would be under 40, maybe even as low as 30? Well, would you believe that our Confederacy of Dunce's channel, the Prime Confederacy, well, they're saying, hey, crude might go to 30. They are so behind the curve. It's embarrassing. I really believe this, and I've said it before. They just find people on the streets, dress them up nice, give them a nice hairdo, and tell them to read a script. That's what they do. I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that's what's going on here. And we're just going to see more of the same. But look, don't lose sight of what's going on. We need to pay attention to this yield curve. It's a big, big tell in my view. And on top of that, we don't know how fast this whole thing around us is going to correct to fair value. Remember these words, if you remember nothing else from anything I ever say. This environment is 100% fake. Our economy is fake. Anyone that's telling you that this economy is in a boom or something like that is lying to you. They're lying to your face because they think you're stupid. They think that you're too dumb to know where to look. Exploding debts, exploding deficits, in a Federal Reserve with easy money from here to eternity. This is keeping this propped up. It's not Real. Once this stops, we end up in not just a recession, but we end up in a Great Depression. But you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know that because they think you're dumb. And I know for a fact that none of you are dumb. No, 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 no. Anyway, let's check back on this stuff here. All right, Dow Jones Industrial Average again. We got 5 minutes to go. Only down 94 points. S&P is just about flat. NASDAQ up 0.32%. Wow. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that being down 800 points now we're it's too much. Who would be buying here? Who would be trying to catch a falling knife in this environment where we don't even know if there's a real truce? No one's allowed to see it. We don't know what the hell's going to go on here with OPEC. So who's buying? Let me see what you say. The Federal Reserve does have their own trading desk. You all know that, right? Don't believe me. Please don't believe me. Go check on it yourself. Go look it up. This is incredible. And it's more fakery going on here because anyone that's buying here has got to be high. Dow is only down 79 points. This is credible. We got 4 minutes and maybe we'll go positive. Pretty wild stuff. So anyway, so that's what's going on here. It's a lack of certainty in this market. It all started with whatever we have now. Is it a truce? I don't know. Whatever it is, and we have this whole deal with OPEC. A lot of selling earlier today, and I explained to you a couple of days ago that I think I thought they were going to jump through a lot of hoops to try to keep this propped up. Look, we all understand that the charade is pretty simple. It's always about the rich getting richer, the 1%ers getting more money here. And I can promise you that the CEOs of these corporations that get paid in stock, they're not happy to see this. And I think when China came out and said, hey, no, there wasn't any concessions on our side, the CEOs were probably ready to, jump out of windows, some of them. And I think, unfortunately, we got lied to. We're being duped. You know that this is an ongoing story. Are you surprised? No, I'm sure you're not surprised at all. It's all it's a game. It's a grand planned game of truly epic proportions here. It's out of control. All right, we got 2 minutes. Let's see what we got. All right, we might not make it to the positive side, but my God, look at this. Dow is only down 98 points. S&P just about flat. NASDAQ positive. Wow, that's too much. Too much, my friends. Let's see what we got. 10-year yield, 2.88. That's a nice jump from earlier today. So we do have some stabilization there. Let's check on the spread here live between, hold that thought. The spread between the 2, the 3, and the 5. I'll show this to you if I can get my stupid phone to work. All right. This is what we got here. 2-year yielding 2.75, 3-year yielding 2.76, and the 5-year also 2.75. So that's where we're at here. Interesting. We've still got that little rift there between the 3 and the 5. Oh my God. So we have a near, let's put this into perspective right now. It's incredible what I'm about to tell you because you just won't believe it. I can't believe it. Let's double check on this because I don't want to be too far off with the math off the top of my head. We have about a 40-point swing here in the Dow. You want to talk about an epic turnaround? Well, here we are, people. Here we are. And who would be buying this? You got to be nuts. And this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out tomorrow. Who knows? Anything can happen. Understand. If this really is the big one, if we're starting to see this market correct at fair value, closing bell. If that's the case here, the market is not going to go down in a straight line. What happened in 2008? Let's go over that real quick. All right. So because people seem to forget, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down. That, and that we're going to get the same kind of thing here. With algorithmic trading, people trying to bottom fish. Um, I do not want you to try to bottom fish here. This is why I've been explaining to you, please, 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 please learn how to trade credit spreads. Even if you don't want to buy a book on credit spreads, there's a lot of free information out here online on how to trade credit spreads. Use my spreads as an example. If you have been following my work that I post on my website, you will see about 3 spreads went against me for the past, I don't know, months. So I think that's pretty darn good. You're not always going to win no matter what. And you're never going to let these trades go against you so badly that you're going to take a big hit. If you see them go against you, you're going to close them right away. So you don't suffer a big loss. It's the truth. So let's see how this market finished. Let's see here. Wow, will you look at this? All right, sit down if you're not. Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down only 77 points. The S&P 500 finished down only 4. The NASDAQ put on an almost 0.5%, 0.4% gain. That is absolutely off the Richter scale, shocking in my view. Unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable. All right, let me close that window. Let me close this window. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed the ride today. It's been lovely, hasn't it? Very, very lovely. You understand what's driving this market. I think I've kept you all on top of this pretty damn good. So we need to, what we're waiting for here is some clarification on what this truce really is, to find out who's lying. We probably won't. Someone's lying here. And to find out what's going on here with OPEC. Watch the yield curve. I don't think they're going to be able to stop a full-on long-end inversion. Something I've been talking about for the longest time. And even the Confederacy of Dunces, the prime Confederacy of Dunces, is talking about this. But expect them to start parading out more big guns. Warren Buffett was the biggest gun today. They even had Jamie Dimon out here. No surprise to any of you. This is what they do. They think we're all stupid, and we're not. We're not stupid. I have a little bit of news. Tomorrow is December 7th. We all know what that day, that is Pearl Harbor Day. One of my best friends in the world, Edward Hall, he's a 95-year-old Pearl Harbor survivor. He is going to be honored tomorrow at Nellis Air Force Base here in Las Vegas. I am going to be taking him to this event tomorrow, which means you will not see me tomorrow. I know how sad some of you are going to be, and some of you are going to be happy. I will miss all of you. So I'm going to leave you all off with what I usually do on my Fridays is love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. It's the most important thing. All of this, I'm going to say it. Are you ready? Is dog shit. All right? We're all responsible for each other. You know that. And I love you all from the heart. That's a fact. I will see you Sunday. And there's going to be a lot more stuff to talk about on Sunday. We're going to find probably more information about the trade truce, who's lying. We're going to find out more about OPEC. It's going to be interesting. And we'll just see. All right. You're all so great. Honestly, I can't say enough about all of you because I hear from you all. I read the comments. You're the greatest. You seriously are the greatest. And I really feel like we're a family. We are a family. And again, this guy here, if nobody else loves you, this guy does. I'll see you Sunday. Bye. All right.